Good evening, everybody. We got here another Age of Empires 2 1v1, this time between Hera and TheViper, two top-level players who have been top of the game for the last couple of years, really. Viper obviously being the player for the last decade, and Hera, new up-and-comer that is now pretty solidified as a top player. We are playing on Gold Rush today, and let's get right into it. In the blue, we do have Hera playing as the Berbers. And then over in the yellow, we have Viper playing as the Sicilians, one of the two new civilizations. So what can we expect? Well, taking a look at the maps, obviously Gold Rush usually pretty open on the front, difficult to wall all the way across. But with the new maps, we are seeing a lot more wood lines on the sides and making it a little bit easier to close in the base. Preference for me personally would be for the Viper's base with the two back golds. That does buy that extra time before he wants to move forward into the middle, into the pit of gold and bears. I'm going to just speed up a little bit to get started here. As we can see, scouting around, the two scouts trying to take a look. Scouting pretty far out with sheep, actually, the Viper is. Just seeing what his map looks like, exactly what we can expect. The Sicilians, of course, being a very strong new civilization with that bonus to change all villagers into Flemish militia. That could be seen, seems unlikely, of course, that being a move that we've seen only a couple of times. It can overrun most armies, but not quite a long-term solution. All or nothing play, definitely. Lucked out a little bit here with the shorefish being right next to the berries, so a little bit of extra food there. And on the other side, we see berries being picked already for Hera. Two players just scouting around, both of them going for loom at this point in time. This map definitely is a map where you do want to get loom because of its openness, as well as because of the fact that once you get in here, of course, you're usually not sending one villager at a time, but these bears can cause quite a bit of trouble. And we do see a barracks coming up for Hera, obviously playing as the Berbers. Further down the line, we'll get those cheap knights. And so I'm assuming stable will be dropped as soon as feudal age is hit. And we'll see a few scouts coming forward. And there we do have and Viper choosing to be a little bit more aggressive with his pull of deer. And seeing a little bit of a scout fight back and forth, but this spearman coming out, that will scare away any of Hera's scouts. This is a fantastic wall here of trees for the Viper. All of this easy access woodline in the back, and just space, which is always important once you get started on farms. And we'll see exactly what the Viper is choosing to do, as he is going to soon have another scout coming out. But it is not out yet. So these two scouts will be able to cause a little bit of damage, cause a little bit of delays for the meantime. Hera, of course, having the little advantage currently, especially with this third scout coming in. But one spearman, a couple of shots, that can change things really quick. And Viper is starting a wall off, but smartly has a spearman out there, able to scare away any scouts, so this villager will not be taken out. But Hera completely piling on the pressure with scouts, moving forward, outmassing the Viper currently, but not yet in a position in which he can strongly fight the army of the Viper. And there we go, that villager getting caught out a little bit. Will not go down at this point in time, but Hera choosing to engage, takes out the villager, loses a couple of scouts in the process, but does delay the Viper as much as possible. So Hera now with a little bit of a villager lead Not quite a full villager, more so half a villager. There must have been some idle TC time. But now suddenly, with that decision, he only has 2 scouts and a spearman at home. He is behind for military, 6 for the Viper, 3 for Hera. So that is one difficulty. You got to weigh the balances of, yes, he did take out a villager of the Viper. Did it make enough of an impact? And if Viper can continue to get the ball rolling, snowball this into a big, massive military lead, it might not have been worth it. But we'll see how that plays out currently, as the Viper not pushing too hard yet, still being a little bit tentative, having to be tentative of course. And there we go, takes out the spearman, able to attack the berries. This is going to cause some issues, and we will see a big engagement. And this spearman here from the Viper being a massive difference.
Azul.
Not liking the idea to chase down the villager with that spearman. I think was a little bit of a waste there, but Hera now has flipped the script. He now has the military lead with Viper with 0 military currently on the field. Just creating a spearman for now, putting down a blacksmith, and we will see him starting to save up for the next age. But still very open on the front. Hera has walled off the side of his base, but still open on the right side. For now, Hera will be able to get through the Viper's small little hole in the wall here. And of course, going through the gold pit, you always want to double check if there's a start of a stronghold. Usually feudal age, it's unlikely to see, but you never know. And when you're playing at this level, a couple of sneak villagers dropping a tower can change the game really, really quickly. So what's the play here? The Viper very close to clicking up. He will click up now. And Hera still a little bit away. Still needs 300 more food to click up before he can get to the next age. And Viper choosing just to defend with a couple spearmen here and there. Keep whatever lead he can and fight with villagers if necessary. This second spearman will be able to flip the script. 2 spearmen against 5 weak scouts. The spearman will be able to do enough damage, especially with the help of villagers, that he shouldn't be too worried. And he will be able to get up to the castle age safely.
Ordini.
And then we'll see exactly what the Viper chooses to do. Both players not collecting stone currently, so we will not see any castles in the middle as of yet. But a second stable now going up for the Viper. Will save that villager. Hera loses a scout and weakens the other scouts. Now we're at a point where one hit from a villager and a couple engagements can cause some big damage, and this scout army is pretty much close to dead. The only thing that Hera has going for him with this army is it's Hera. And if it was anyone else, this scout army would be pretty much useless, but he has got such good control of his units. He will be able to hit and run, cause delays, and make these scouts live for a very long time while he continues to protect his base back at home. There we go. Castle age now for the Viper. He is coming out with 2 knight production, as well as getting upgrades for his cavalry. So that is bloodlines coming in, and we will soon see upgrades in the blacksmith, I am sure. Choosing to build his second TC in a fairly safe location on this wood line. Just looking to mass up villager counts, not going forward with a TC as of yet. But on the other hand, we do have Hera deciding to go with just a 1 TC push, continue to run through as much as possible, but against the knights that are going to be fighting back against him, he will have to run away. A monastery coming up for the Viper as well. Monastery, of course, will be very good to convert those cheap knights that will be coming forward for the Berber player. And right now, these scouts just kind of scouting around, get some map control, get a look at what's going on around the map. Currently, we do have pretty close military numbers, but Hera's military is weaker than what Viper's military is, because 3 of his 6 or 7 are in fact scouts. And there we go, this is what I'm talking about. Hera, such a great player with this, able to focus down this villager, gets the kill, another Vil pick, always helpful. But Hera is starting to fall behind on the villager count, and we'll see how much he can push his military advantage once he gets it. There we go, good engagement there on the hill for Hera, able to take out a knight basically for free. But this monk will be able to scare away anything that Hera comes forward with. These scouts still alive as Viper's on his 3rd town center, and Hera still just on the 1, not even looking to build a 2nd one at this point in time. Just pushing through as many knights as possible. And as you can see here, they are taking out the monk, are pushing in. Not too much damage that can be done because of these town centers being so close together. You don't want to be fighting underneath the arrow fire of any of them, because you will be getting hit by 2 town centers in most of these locations. But right now he is just causing the villagers of the Viper to run in and out, in and out, in and out. And the Viper getting fletching already. Hera choosing to engage here. He does have the upgrade lead, but we will see exactly how that pays off fighting underneath the town center fire. Only 1 town center was garrisoned for most of that engagement, and boom, Hera takes the lead, and we now see a situation in which the military of the Viper is non-existent. He went for the eco approach, does not have the military to back it up currently, and we are seeing his economy getting decimated. He does have a 10 villager lead right now, but it is quickly falling as these knights are able to hit all of these villagers, and we now see only 50 villagers for the Viper. He is dropping like crazy. Another villager down. He is still producing quicker than Hera on Hera's 1 town center. But Hera, great damage, and that's what you want to see when you are choosing the military approach against someone who is going eco. You need to get that damage in. You need to keep your military advantage as much as possible. And here we have Hera going in once again. Will he get another Vil pick? Probably not, just because the town center's being so close. But look at all of these knights, very, very low HP, and the Viper going up for another town center. He knows that he needs to keep his eco lead ahead. If he's going for the eco approach, he needs to get ahead. Right now, both players on 50 villagers. Hera still only with the 1 town center. Going forward with monks right now. Would like to see a couple of relics picked up, but the primary reason for these right now is to convert any military from the Viper. And a conversion working very well. 2 knights go down immediately. Great choice in who got converted, and these scouts just causing damage. Looks like he did create a couple extra scouts, and we now see another defense upgrade coming in for Hera. The Viper only with the first +1 defense. Hera already with 2. These monks will be just jumping in and out of town center, in and out of town center, getting conversions where they can. If they get threatened, they can jump right back in. And right now, +2 defense. These knights are able to fight right underneath the town center. They take down a couple of town centers that will cause huge problems for the Viper. And this is exactly what you want to see when you are pushing forward against someone who is booming. Hera knows that Viper doesn't have the economy to be building up any defense currently. The only thing that Viper has is a Donjon going up. first town center down, and there we have it. Still 3 town centers for the Viper, still just the 1 for Hera. And this donjon does go up, will provide a little bit of extra defense, and looks like Viper is just going to continue to push the donjons. See exactly what comes out of this. Of course, not the strongest when it comes to attack. Looking like a bit stronger than towers, but nothing too crazy. So it's not like getting a castle up for defense, but 3 of them is no joke. Able to do quite a bit of damage against the knights. And the Viper has regained his villager lead, but look at all the idle time. Currently right now, more than half of his villagers are idle, and he is just continuing to build town centers where he can. And here we go. The Viper has to call the GG. That is it. Hera did put up his second town center right at the end there. Was just starting to collect in the middle, but just unable to defend against the huge push coming in from Hera. Taking a quick look at the statistics. No surprises here. The economy actually being higher for Hera, just because he was able to collect so much more gold and just a little bit of the other ones. Overall, that'll do it.